My name is Danielle Birdie, and this is Tracy Brown, and we are here with the absolutely gorgeous and amazing Teri Katzenberger. And she is actually contributing as an author to all 3 titles in the Wounded Woman series. All 3, yay. So Teri, yes, betrayed, broken, and burned. So yes, we are going to talk a little bit to Teri, find out a little bit more about who Teri is, find out what made her feel called to contribute to this particular series. And yeah, Teri, tell us a little bit about you and how you help people.
Well, my name is Teri Katzenberger, and I help people live a healthy, well, fit, strong, whole life from the inside out. I have been doing this since 2000, started working in my home as an entrepreneur in 2000. And then 2005, by the grace of God, I opened up my first fitness and weight management center called She's Shapin' Up Fitness and Weight Management for Women. And that's when God broke my heart in a way I would never have been prepared for, to help women. And so that's when not only was I running this, what I thought was a fitness and weight management center for women, but it actually became a women's ministry to really sow into their lives, help them not only with their weight and food and all of those things, but it was always so much more than that. So, over the years, I've, even back then, I've tended to tell people, I really help you with your mind, body, and spirit, because that's what it's all about. It's so much deeper than the food on our plate, the number on the scale. And so it's been a journey.
Yeah. And you and I connected. It's been over a year now, which is wild.
Yeah, if not 2 years, going on 2.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I felt really kind of connected with you about was the mission that you were on, for helping people live this healthier lifestyle from the inside out. Personally, I was in fitness before all of this online stuff, and I spent 18 years of my life, working with people and helping them live healthier lives. And it really changed my life. It made me part of who I am. And so I think that's one of the things that you and I connected on. And then you came in and you wrote a chapter in Quiet and Badass. And then we're just going to keep rolling with this amazing journey. Right. So,
right.
I'm just so excited to have you as part of this entire series. It means a lot to me. Because I really believe in not only your mission, but the message that you have personally in all the ways that you have to share it. And I can't say it enough how honored I am to have you as part of this series. So,
thank you.
Absolutely. Now, Teri, let's talk about what made you feel called to participate. Because you were in Quiet and Badass, you were in a multi-author book, and I know that you have wanted to be a writer for a very long time with your notebooks and things, right?
Right.
So you did it. You did it in Quiet and Badass. You wrote, and you became a international best-selling author. And then here comes this opportunity, and you're like, yep, absolutely. And sign me up for all 3. So tell me what made you feel called, Teri.
Well, what's interesting, when I felt it was a sign, because I don't know if you remember, Jenny, after the Quiet and Badass book, and I, it wasn't even published yet, but I was like, oh my gosh, we have to have a series where all of us are still together, because people are going to read our chapter and wonder, well, now what are they doing? What happened next? And that's what was really resonating in me is, and maybe it was my chapter. I know someone else in there, her chapter will be will touch people the same, in Quiet and Badass, where people will read it and wonder, well, what are they doing now? What, now what, they'll want to know, what's our next chapter? What's the next thing? So then all of a sudden you two put out this 3-book series. And I thought, oh, just knowing that that's it. Not that being in one book isn't enough. But I don't know, in my heart and spirit, it was like, why would I hold myself back and only be in the one? If it's a 3 series book, why would I hold myself back from continuing to tell the story and just keep it to one book? Because I mean, Quiet and Badass, that was one book, but yet I knew there was so much more that needed to be said. Because those, your word, like the 3,000 words, that was gone in 2 hours. And reading a chapter. I was like, oh my God, I kept on going. And so that's what was burning in me, is people are going to be wondering, okay, what is she doing now? What more I'm hoping, maybe I'm thinking too highly of myself. That was what my hope was, is then women or whoever reads it will be wondering, oh, I wish she would share more. I wonder what more is going on. That's why I did all 3. I thought I would feel unsettled doing one. Not that I couldn't have then added on the 2, but if they get filled and there's no spots left, I was ready to embark on that journey, maybe selfishly, so I could just get all this yuck out of my head.
Yeah.
And out of my spirit and my soul, so that I can just be set free.
Yeah.
I love it.
And let that setting of, yourself free inspire somebody else to do the same. Yeah.
I think what we were just saying then about wanting to write in each 3 and sort of continue the story is also one of the beautiful thing about contributing to collaborative books like this, is that you can explore a different facet of the story in each book. So you can focus on a different element and unpack that in a different way, so that each time you write a chapter, it builds it out just a little bit more. Your story blossoms in a different way. And I think what's really exciting about having you come on board to do all 3 books is seeing just how your story evolves and grows and blossoms through the different focuses of each of the different books. So,
and I don't even have any idea what I'm going to write about.
Yeah.
That happened with Quiet and Badass. I mean, all of a sudden I had like like a week, and I'm kind of freaking out, and so I just came down to my computer one day, and boom, what I wrote was not at all what I was going to write about. So that's how the story began. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is good.
I've had that happen too. The story,
I don't stress over it. I just know it will come.
And you have to trust that whatever story comes out of you, whatever needs to be written will be written, even if what you thought you were going to write was something completely different, that actually the words that come out are the words, is the story that needs to be told. So
the whole line and the whole thing that was shared in my wildest dreams and nightmares, I never thought I would write that and make it public, but it was good. So that's too what made me continue on. To hook up with you two, I trust you, and just to be able to get my story out with the help of you two, leading, guiding, and directing me along the way. I feel comfortable in that setting to do that.
Oh, thank you. Well, even if you're not sure what each of your chapters is going to be about yet, what is it that you hope that your chapters will do how do you hope it will help the readers?
Those that have read the first book, The Quiet and Badass, and people I grew up with. I mean, the way it touched and resonated, I mean, they were just baffled at. I never knew that that's, you know, who I was and what went on. Then to then hear their stories. Okay, repeat the question, Tracy.
I was asking, how do you hope that the chapters that you write in each of these 3 books will help the readers?
I hope that it will help them if they can relate, if things in there are hitting home with them, like, oh my gosh. I mean, like some stories I've heard friends then share with me that I would never have known. That's what they endured in their, their life. So I hope that even if it's somebody that feels they could never share any of that publicly, I could never say that. Someone who's maybe suffering or battling with things in silence, I hope that it touches them in the way that I've become that voice. The one thing about me in my life, I've always had a voice, I'm not afraid to use it. And so I've decided, and Jenny helped me with this to make it louder, is I hope then to be that voice for the other women or people. Like I said, it's not just women that go through things, but to be that voice and let them know and allow them to realize they're not alone. There's other people in this world that's going through exactly what you're going through, or that has been through what you've been through. You're not alone. You don't need to suffer in silence. There's a community of women out there that, together we're going to band together and pull you out of that. Like the last book is Burned. I mean, it makes me think of, we're going to pull you out of those fiery ashes, like the phoenix rising. So allow us to be your phoenix rising. You may not, you don't have to share your story. You don't have to share your living nightmare. You don't have to air your dirty laundry. You don't have to go vocal in public of your life darkest hours. However, hopefully through our voice, you can allow yourself to set yourself free through our voice and our words, and be able to let it go so that you too can rise above and, feel that, that sense of release. It's like a weight that's been lifted. So if you've got this heavy comforter that you're underneath, it's like a huge heavy weighted blanket. Hopefully through this series of books and us sharing our stories throughout each one, that comforter gets lighter and lighter. And then that last series, they also feel like they've been set free. I can let this go.
Yeah.
I can move forward. Like I shared last week or 2 weeks ago, I turned 55. I don't buy into the age thing, but I turned 55 in January. I think I look 35, but anyway.
I think you do
I
too.
agree.
And the thing is, it's like, how could I have allowed myself to be carrying that weighted blanket for 30 plus 40 years? If I look at it as adult years, for 30 years. So now it's time to have that be removed, and hopefully I can help others remove theirs.
Yeah, Teri, it's absolutely. And just like you said too, it's not even that, we're inspiring other people to talk about their trauma or talk about their past or talk about what they're dealing with. They may decide to. They may be somebody that is inspired and feels as though, okay, that helped me, and I want to go do the same and talk about this and inspire somebody else. And we won't know. We really won't know how far that ripple effect goes and who does go and inspire others because they read our stories. And that's one of the beautiful mysteries of contributing a chapter that goes out into the world, you know, in these books. And it's not even about that. It's just about putting that out there, helping ourselves release, and knowing, being, you know, in complete, being completely aware that what we are doing is helping people, regardless if we know who they are or not. And I think that, you know, it takes a special kind of person, it takes a special group of women to be able to step up and to be those people that are sharing the story. So, and you're one of them. And I just want to say, you know, thank you, you know, for doing this work. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for allowing me to.
Well, so Jenny's just talked a lot about, you know, and we've just talked a lot about what it is that we hope that the reader is going to get out of this. But what is it for you, aside from getting to share more of your story? What is it that you hope to get out of contributing to this series of books for yourself?
Oh boy. Hopefully I can share this without crying. You know, like I said in the Quiet and Badass book, what I shared and wrote was not at all what I thought I had in me. I mean, that was not at all my mindset or the direction that I was going to go. And that's what came out. And like I had told Jenny back then, I didn't even edit it. I read through it. I didn't have to reread it and write it. I mean, it just, bam, that came out. 2-3 hours later, I was done. And now when I decided to do this one, and, you know, I have messaged you guys and I'm about ready to jump off the cliff, and I almost passed out because being plagued with inner turmoil, anguish. I mean, it's almost a borderline PTSD. And that just has been surfacing and surfacing ever since I agreed to do this. I don't back down when I voice that I'm going to do something, because I refuse to allow the devil to ever win in my life. And by backing down, the story won't ever be told. And it's not that the story needs to be told for other people to hear. It's, I need to be set free. So, like I've shared before, I may be doing it in a selfish reason also. But what I hope for myself is I can be set free finally and be able just to let all that haunts me go. I mean, I want it to be gone. It becomes and it breaks my husband's heart when he hears me talk about, but it's in my life and things that have gone on in my life. It's even in adulthood. I mean, it's, don't get me started on people anyway. But that internal anguish and you know, it's like this trauma, this, I can't even think of the where I'm being tormented. That's the feeling, like this torment and anguish. Well, it's the devil. And the last thing he wants me to do is share the rest, or to continue to share and be out loud. But that's where him and I always butt heads, because I refuse to shut up. And I want to be set free from all that. And it's, I think, and by God's grace, I met Jenny, and then I met Tracy. So I meet you two, who's going to, you know, are my saving grace to help me do this. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be voicing any of it out loud. I would still be in this silent torment. And so selfishly, I'm doing it, and on purpose for others. But for myself, that weighted blanket needs to be removed, and I don't ever want to pick it up again, because it's like a living nightmare internally for me. Little do people know. I mean, and I think when I shared that a couple weeks ago with you too, I mean, you're both like, oh, but that's
I still want to cry.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I have. And it just needs to, I mean, I already have a cover of when you guys helped me write a book of my own, and it hit me after a call a couple of weeks ago. Like, I mean, the vision was just bam. And it's going to be called maybe, Till Death Do Us Part. And I'm wearing my mother's wedding dress.
Oh,
I wore that when my husband and I got married. I think I
just
wrote
got
that in the book.
shivers
Yeah, I
down
did
my
too.
back.
I actually
That's what came to me was this image of me in that dress, because she gave it, I have it. And because that's that anguish and that torment. Well, do you have it until death do us part? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want it. I don't want it.
I think you need to divorce it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put that.
Yeah. The process of writing, the process of writing and participating in these sorts of collaborations on specific topics, and then even just write, you're talking about writing your own book, the healing that does, you chip away at these things that are, buried deep inside, or the things that keep bubbling up. With each time you write, you chip away at it and you release little bits of it out into, wherever it goes. And you say you're doing it selfishly, but by you doing it selfishly, it's inevitable that you're going to help somebody. So whatever made you decide to do it, whether it be selfish or whether it be strictly for other people, just the process of doing it and putting it out there and publishing it in a book is just something that it's hard to find in other forms of therapy, right? Like, it's just so different, and it's truly healing. So I am excited to see how this turns out for you personally.
And maybe I use that word not really realizing why I'm using it, but maybe the selfish is I would be selfish to keep it to myself anymore, because therefore others that would need to hear what, my side of the story. I mean, there's all these other women in our books, and they'll relate to each one, but maybe it would be selfish of me not to be contributing and allowing others to be able to hear it and learn and grow and heal. And
yeah. Well, there's two sides to that coin, right? You could decide to do it selfishly, or you could selfishly decide not to, right?
Yeah. There's a book in itself.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, tell us, Teri, what do you think is the most exciting part of being on this journey? This, not just in this particular book series, but on this writing journey. Tell us about what excites you the most about the journey. I know what you want to accomplish. I know these things that you want to release, but what's exciting?
Well, I think what's exciting is not only what just flows out of me, and all of a sudden it's on paper and it's like, wow, this is actually pretty darn good.
I'm a good writer.
The fact that the exciting part is to actually be in your guys' circle and to be hooking up and connecting with women. I don't want to say like you, but as you are, and having people in my life that see more of me than what I see of myself. And when I was doing my prayers last night, I mean, I just began, just declaring who I am. And what excites me is I need to be surrounded with, with you two, with the others. It excites me that I'm forming these relationships because I know they're just not superficial. I know it's not just about a book. I know it's not where our relationship will end. It's only going to continue to grow and grow, and that excites me. I need to get excited about that. So a lot of even the last several years, I just need to chip away at what's been holding me back. And you guys are helping me to get excited about my life again and what I was created for, because I've lost that. I've lost that joy and that excitement. I know there's so much more. I'm so much more than I think I am. And I need to just start really relaying that again. I had a business coach years back that would say that you're so much more than you think you are. You're so much more. And it just hit me the first time he ever said that. And I thought, oh my gosh, I am, we all are. And so I'm excited to be on this journey and see where it just continues to go. I'd like to be traveling. I'd like to be sitting on the other side with, the two of you there. And
we'd like
and
that.
Just, I need to be surrounded with, I haven't had that in my life, being surrounded with just exciting, vibrant women who love life, love each other, want to see others succeed, where you have that sisterhood.
Yes.
I have strived my whole life to have that sisterhood. I feel that in your guys' container.
Aww.
And I think that's where, Jenny and I just kind of clicked right away. And then Tracy, you came on with, where we met you, or I met you. And yeah, I want that sisterhood. And I feel that with you guys. That's what's exciting for me. You're going to help me get excited for my life again.
Oh, well, that's exactly what we want to. We, part of creating these containers and these book collaborations is Jenny and I also curating the kind of community that we want, the kinds of sisterhood that we want, the women that we want to be sharing our lives with and connecting with, and being supported by and support, because it takes a village. And when we work together, we are so much more powerful as a collective than we are on our own. And I really love having you as part of our community, Teri. I'm so excited that we're taking this journey together. But thank you so much for valuing that in us as well, because that just lights my heart up.
Teri, you got Tracy to tear up. She is actually teary-eyed.
It's some of us women out there, that's what's missing in our whole life, is that, we may, I have a sister. We've never had that relationship. And I admire that in women. I have longed for it and strive for it. And no matter how you fight for it or want it with your own sibling, it may never be there. I've had to realize in my life, people may not think of you the way you do them. They might not love you or care about you the way you do them. That was probably, has to be my hardest and toughest thing I ever had to realize in my life, where people may not think of you the way you do them. And it's hard, especially if it's family. And so I've been, I admire that in women when they have that connection with each other, and they do the things together, and they might go on the vacations together. And it's like, I want that. That's a huge missing factor, in my life, I believe.
Well, we'll definitely sign you up for our first writers'
watch out, you've got me for life.
Yeah.
Come and hang out with us, and we'll write together, and we'll, it'll be great.
Yeah.
Oh, Teri, well, thank you so much for hanging out and sharing, a little bit of your day, a little bit of insight into who you are and into, why you're in our world. And I just so appreciate you. And I'm so excited for you to be a part of the series and for us to just continue this journey and continue bringing people into our circle, and cultivating that. And I just couldn't tell you how excited I am for what is to come and for you to be a part of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's why I had to do all 3 books. I didn't want to miss out.
Oh, yeah. FOMO.
What's next? And oh no, what's next? And
yeah.
So yeah, just probably on me for life, you two.
That's okay. We're totes cool with that.
Totally
just
fine.
saying. We're very hard to get rid of.
Good. I am too. Good. See, that's where we click.
Excellent. So if anybody out there is resonating with your story or wants to find out more about you, how can they get in contact with you, Teri?
Well, they can certainly follow me on Facebook at Teri Thompson Katzenberger. Instagram, Teri Katzenberger. I'm on LinkedIn, but yeah, social media through Facebook, Instagram.
Perfect.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. 605-212. No. Yeah, social media. But yeah, social media is great. I love connecting on there. I welcome anyone to reach out. You guys know I love to talk and I love the art of communication and getting to know people. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, my dear, we're going to let you go. And again, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for sharing everything. And yeah, have a fantastic day, Teri.
You too. I appreciate this, you two.
Yes.
I love you.
Darling.
See ya.